What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. Well, in today's video we are checking out the differences between the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5, and this is the Chinese version, and the Xiaomi Mi 6X. So first of all, the price difference. You can find the Redmi Note 5 for between $200 and $250 depending where you buy it, and then you can find the Xiaomi Mi 6X for between $300 and $350. So realistically we are looking at about $100 in price difference. For specifications, we have the Snapdragon 636 for the Note 5 and we have the Snapdragon 660 for the Mi 6X. Now you can buy these with either 3, 4 or 6 gigs of RAM, but it depends how much money you're willing to spend, and both devices are running Android 8.1. Even though there is a bit of a difference for the benchmark results in between these two, both devices perform very similar. So if you'd be to open the same app at the same time, well, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So if you don't know what phone you're looking at, yeah, you would definitely not be able to tell the difference. The gaming performance seems to be somewhat better on the 6X, but only somewhat better, and you're only gonna notice that for certain games. So for example, if you're gonna play PUBG on both devices, you may be able to notice a slight difference, but for other games that you're gonna download from the Google Play Store, there is no difference in between these two. And we are moving on to the physical appearance for these two devices. So when you first glance at them, they do look very similar. However, we have a few differences here and there. So first of all, the 6X, the back is made out of metal entirely, where the back for the Note 5 is made out of plastic and metal. So the top and at the bottom we have plastic. The 6X is also a bit slimmer and it only weighs about 170 grams, where the Note 5 weighs about 183 grams, but that probably has to do with the internal battery, because with the Note 5 we have a 4000 mAh battery, and with the 6X we have a 3010 mAh battery. And that brings us to the battery life. So the Redmi Note 5 you're gonna be able to get between 8 and 10 hours of screen on time on one charge, and with the Mi 6X you're gonna be able to get between 6 and 8 hours of screen on time on one charge. So if you're looking for the phone that has the best battery life, the Redmi Note 5 is the way to go. Another difference in between these two would be the ability to take an SD card. So only the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 can take an SD card. The Mi 6X can only take 2 SIM cards at the same time. So that's gonna be a big deal, mostly if you're buying the version that has like 64 gigs, because with this one you can expand the internal memory, with this one you cannot. With the Redmi Note 5 we also get a 3.5mm audio jack, where with the Mi 6X we only get an adapter from the USB-C to a 3.5mm audio jack, so it's gonna be much easier to use the Redmi Note 5 with some headphones over the Mi 6X, where you'd have to carry that adapter with you at all times. And I know some of you are gonna say, but the Mi 6X gets a USB-C port and that's the way to go, where the Redmi Note 5 only gets a micro USB charging port, and that's true, but aside from the physical aspect of those two ports, both devices are using USB 2.0. So realistically there is no difference in speed if you're transferring data in between the phone and the computer for both devices. And moving to the front of the devices, there we have a 5.99 inches screen with the 18:9 screen ratio and a 1080p resolution, and both devices are using IPS screens. Even though on paper they do seem the same, I find the screen on the Mi 6X much better. I mean, not much better, but definitely better. So the colors are more vibrant and the blacks are deeper, where the screen on the Redmi Note 5 seems a bit more washed out. So you're definitely gonna notice whenever you're looking at the same picture. Now, if you don't have both devices in hand, it's gonna be hard to tell, but if you do look at both devices at the same time, you can definitely tell that the screen on the Mi 6X is better. And we are moving on to the front-facing camera. So first of all, with the Mi 6X we get a 20 megapixel camera with the f1.8, and with the Redmi Note 5 we get a 13 megapixel front-facing camera with the f2.0. So the first big difference would be the ability to take portrait mode pictures with the front-facing camera with the Mi 6X, where we cannot do that with the Redmi Note 5. So if you're looking for that portrait mode for the front-facing camera, you're gonna have to buy the Mi 6X. Now the portrait mode pictures from the Mi 6X aren't exceptional, but they do look pretty good, and you're not gonna be able to do the same with the Redmi Note 5. As for the regular selfies that you're gonna take with both these devices, I also find the pictures that you're gonna take with the Mi 6X a bit better. So the pictures are a bit more vibrant and the dynamic range is also a bit better, where the pictures that you're gonna take with the Redmi Note 5 are a bit overexposed, but only some of them. As for the selfies that you're gonna take in low light, well, neither device takes exceptional looking pictures. However, the pictures that you're gonna take with the Mi 6X seem a bit better, so they are brighter and a bit sharper. But overall, neither device takes really good looking pictures in low light. And we are moving to the rear camera. So first of all, with the Mi 6X, we get a 12 megapixel camera with the f1.8 and a 20 megapixel camera with the f1.8. Moving on to the Redmi Note 5, there we get a 12 megapixel camera with the f1.9 and a 5 megapixel camera with the f2.0. So if you use the stock camera app for both these devices, you can only record in 4K with the Mi 6X. However, if you use a different camera app like the Open Camera app, you can record with both devices in 4K and you have image stabilization for both devices. And next I want to show you a couple of samples recorded in 4K with both these devices, so you can see that they both look very similar. This is a quick video recording with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5. I'm currently recording with the Open Camera app and I'm recording in 4K at 30 frames per second, and the image stabilization is also on. So you cannot choose the 4K recordings if you are using the stock camera app. So this is how a recording from this device looks like. This is a quick recording with the Xiaomi Mi 6X. So I'm currently using the Open Camera app. I'm recording in 4K and the image stabilization is also on. The image stabilization seems to do a bit better with this app versus the stock camera app. So this is how a video sample from this device looks like. And as you've seen for yourself, the quality of the 4K recordings is very similar in between these two devices. But wait till you see the portrait mode pictures that I took with these two. So the quality of the portrait mode pictures is also very similar. And even though we only have a 5 megapixel secondary camera on the back of the Redmi Note 5 and we have a 20 megapixel on the back of the Mi 6X, the portrait mode pictures look very similar. Some of those portrait mode pictures seem to be somewhat better from the Redmi Note 5, but overall both devices have great edge detections now, and the pictures are on par with what you'd get from other more expensive phones from other big manufacturers. Moving on to regular looking pictures, so the pictures that you're gonna take with the main 12 megapixel cameras on the back of these devices, well, those look very similar as well, but some of the pictures taken with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 seem to be a bit overexposed, but just a tiny bit, and overall still great. If you do zoom in on some of those pictures and you look very close, you will notice that the pictures that you're gonna take with the Xiaomi Mi 6X are a bit sharper, but just a bit sharper. And let's keep in mind that the price difference in between these two phones is about $100. So the pictures taken with the Mi 6X are just a tiny bit sharper. The biggest difference in between these two phones you're gonna notice in low light. So here there is almost no comparison. With the Mi 6X the pictures are way brighter over the ones taken with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5, and these pictures are only taken a few seconds apart from each other. So definitely with the Mi 6X you can still take pictures in low light. With the Redmi Note 5, well, the pictures don't look good at all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the Redmi Note 5 is absolutely useless in low light. It depends how much light there is wherever you're taking pictures. It depends how steady you keep your hand whenever you take pictures and so on. And you can still take some good looking pictures in low light in different situations with the Redmi Note 5, as you can see on the screen right now. So not all the pictures that you're going to take with the Redmi Note 5 are that bad looking, but some of them aren't turning that great. And mostly when comparing this with the Mi 6X, well, the Mi 6X is definitely better in low light. And it's time to conclude this video. So I feel that the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 is the one that offers the best value for this money in between these two phones, but the Xiaomi Mi 6X is basically the step up from the Redmi Note 5. So if you want a better screen and you want a better camera in low light, you should go for this phone. But other than that, this one is pretty decent as it is. We get better battery life, we get a decent looking screen, may not be the best looking screen out there, but it's still a decent looking screen. We get great cameras overall, and overall you cannot find anything else for $200 that's better than this phone. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.